right, you ready? Burgess. We are live, baby. We're officially live. So worldwide, we're at the Global Summit in Lake City, South Carolina. Mr. Leon Burgess, tell the people, what are we doing behind stage right now?
Behind stage right now, we are preparing for this live stream in which we're exposing everybody to college and career readiness and the skilled trades. Right now, we realize that skilled trades, those are areas that are big and that the students really need those skills. We have students who are practicing those skills, students who are honing and sharpening those skills, and they are preparing to step out to the workforce and fill these job vacancies.
And those students are here too. They've got a whole population on the other side, so we're going to try and engage them, get them involved. We're going to ask questions. They let me, the guy in the pink hat, moderate this panel. So tell us, if you're tuning in, tell us where you are, who you are, where you're at. We want to get you involved. I'm going to be going back and forth from the main stage over here, trying to maintain questions and things like that. We got our awesome panelists over here getting ready to go. Say what's up, y'all. Yeah, Miss Lindsay, we got Kai, we got Al. Here we go. You ready?
You ready?
Get it kicked off. Here's the rest of them behind the scenes, cameraman. We got peeps in the house. Yeah. They got to sit with the mayor right here. Hey, table two. Hey, table two. I see you over there. Oh, yeah. So we're getting ready to get kicked off. I'm going to switch it to the other camera. And let my man Leon take it away, baby.
Good afternoon, ladies and
There it
gentlemen.
goes.
We are back, and I can officially say we are live. Right now, we are about to begin our live stream. We have our panel taking their seats right now, and we have the wonderful Mr. Adam Boots here. He's the guy in the pink hat. He's going to be moderating this panel. He's going to speak with these people who are very familiar with the trades industries. They are going to share their expertise and their knowledge with you. And I'm going to let them introduce themselves for you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alistair Bolden. I started out in the trades many, many years ago, and now I happen to be a professor at Clemson University, the Construction Science and Management Department. If it wasn't for me being in the trades, around your ages, everyone over there, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't have the job that I have right now. It's pretty cool, and I love giving back any way I can.
Hello, especially to the students. Jacob Knight. Kind of a long story as well. I started sweeping the floor, what I started out doing, but now somehow, some way, own some companies, machining, tool and die, sheet metal stamping, fabricating, things like that, real estate. So hopefully we'll be able to share some insight with you. I'm going to hand the mic over to the man of the hour here.
Hey, my name is Kyle Sanitary. I've been welding since 2020. Now I'm a welding instructor.
I'm Lindsay Cosberg, and I am with the Smith Foundation and Harbor Freight Tools for Schools. We are a philanthropic organization that exists to try to bring more high schools and more high school students together to learn hands-on, work-based, skilled trades.
That's awesome. Thank y'all. Can you guys hear me, or do I need to mic up? Mic up? She said mic up. Y'all can hear me? What about back section? Pink. Can't hear me? Can you live stream hear me? Can the live stream hear me? Let me know. Okay. Yeah, speaking of Mr. Al, thank you. We want to move on. Let's do a big picture of the light.
You know what? We'd love to turn this light off.
Yeah. Maybe we can turn. Yeah, he's got it.
There you go.
Look at it. Anthony coming in. Right when we need him. How about that for a skilled trade worker? All right, so they let the guy in the pink hat moderate this panel today. And what that means is we're going to flip the classroom and let y'all ask the question. So we've got kind of this front half, which has been pretty engaged, hanging out with the mayor over here at table 2. We've been hanging out with the mayor. That's right, Lake City, South Carolina. Super excited to be here. We are at the Global Workforce Summit. We've got Ireland in the house. We've got Mr. Leon Burgess, who you saw backstage a little bit ago, getting us kicked off here. I've got a ton of questions for y'all. You come from a different perspective, each of you. I really want you to dive in a little bit deeper on the question, who are you? And I want you, audience and students, we're about to get you going too. You're going to be your own section. It's going to be students against everybody. So before you pass the mic already now.
Right off.
Yeah.
Hot potato.
So be ready. Think of some questions. We want to hit them with some good questions. We got 45 minutes. Let's open this thing up to what y'all want to learn about.
You're saying, who am I?
Yeah, who are you?
Can I phrase it on who I hope I am?
I hope so.
This is strictly hopefully pertaining to the reason we're here today, but hopefully I'm the person that applies the golden rule, do unto others as they do unto me. Hopefully I show respect to people. Hopefully I have internal drive. Hopefully I'm passionate, I'm motivated. Hopefully I'm ready in my mind, body, and soul. And I'm prepared, I'm ready to do what needs to be done. And hopefully I'm drawing from every well that's around me, and I'm coachable. And I'm ready to learn. None of those things cost you $1. Whether you have $1 million in the bank or you have nothing in the bank. Hopefully all those things I could apply to whether I'm sitting here today or if I was in this. Hopefully that's the first I am.
Where else do you seek that?
Where else do I see that? Yeah. Well, I see doing those things in all aspects of life. I didn't always apply it when I was younger. As I got older, in business, at home, being a father, being a husband, as I matured, those are things that I see to be.
Who else? Who are you?
I grew up in A City, went to almost every school except Scranton Elementary. I got in high school, my 9th grade year, I was all around member. Carry on with that all the way through high school. I'm at this point.
But now you're teaching, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, you're carrying it on, taking it to a new level. Let's hear it for Kai. Come on, for Kai. You're it. Right here.
Yes, sir.
Love it. Love it. Thanks for doing it. Anybody else? How was it?
That's coming back for you.
This is hard to follow. I should have did it
Really,
first.
absolutely. I am really one of the luckiest people on earth because my job is to walk into communities and be partners and figure out if there is a way or a space for us to be helpful. We can't fix or do, but we can think and apply and offer and see if we can't work together to make something a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, a little bit more impactful, and to get up every day and do that and try and be a fixer and an adder. It's awesome.
Giver. Yes.
I try to give. That's super hard to follow. I had some good mentors in the trades. I got into management before I ever had any college degree because I had good mentors. Some of you were talking about Charlie before. That's how I try to give back. People just kind of mentor, coach, and help people find jobs. I was trying to help young brother across the street at the cafe get a job just the other day. That's following suit. I just try to give back to people and be the best version of myself that I can. And I try to make the goal to help other people. So the things that I need to do for myself are kind of on autopilot. I get it done. I got to do something, I get it done because the goal isn't even myself anymore. It's just to help the up and coming, someone else. That's really my goal.
Thank you, Al. Oh, don't pass the mic so high this time. All right. Do we have questions burning out there already, or should I keep going? Students, what do we got? Student section, want to go up a point? No? You're going to have somebody.
Y'all have to ask a question.
Yeah, for sure. How far does this thing go? Leon, how far can I go? I'm off stream already.
Hey, let's test it.
We're good? We're still good? Oh, yeah. Students, how are we doing? Hey, what questions do we have out here? Yeah, what do you got, Charlie?
Okay, what's the biggest challenge you've had to overcome or face in your life, and what got you through it?
Oh,
Helped you?
good.
I'm not sure I can classify several things. I don't know if I can prioritize what was the worst, but I'll give you one example. This was my opportunity. Has anybody ever heard of Les Brown?
Sure.
All right, so I enjoy listening to him and he gives some motivation and encouragement. But I hope I don't butcher this quote, but he says it's better to be prepared for an opportunity and not have one than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. And as I got older, I just didn't know I'd ever get a chance to be where I was at. But I said, you know what I can do? I went to school after I was 28 before I got a college degree. I think I might have been 30 when I got it. I was older when I went back to school as well. But I just started saying I'm gonna prepare myself for an opportunity, even if one doesn't come. And the opportunity came, but it wasn't what I wanted. It was a company that had lost a lot of money. I believe it had, like I said, the name of the company, but lost a lot of money and got handed to me. Hey, fix this company. I'm gonna give you the backstory how I got to that point. But 80-hour weeks, had to bring in lean, thinking nobody ever heard the word lean before. Nobody ever heard the word efficiency. Brought able to bring that in, buy in, and I won't go into the details. That was probably the most challenging thing is knowing that, you know what, I didn't grow, I mean, I grew up in the trades, meaning my family was in construction, and every one of I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, but every one of my family members were that. And so I grew up with that mentality, but I got put in a position where I was over tool makers and machinists and fabricators, and that wasn't any of my trade. So the only way to succeed was to get buy-in from all those people. So to create buy-in in an industry I wasn't expert in, that was probably the challenge.
The most challenging thing for me, luckily I found mentors once I got to the trades. The most challenging thing was my environment, where I grew up. Where I grew up was a place where people said, why go do that? They're not going to give it to you. I was discouraged most of the time. I grew up in New York City, late 80s, early 90s. You could probably, all the people in this room old enough understand what I'm saying about that. It's not a great area to be in, and it was very discouraging. And people told me I wasn't going to do something or I wasn't going to be something. And all you young folks here, I didn't listen to them at all. I never listened to them tell me I can't get something or I won't be something. I listened to one person. My father said, you can do whatever you want. It was the only person. All the people outside in that other environment never paid any attention to them. I always went and I got that certification. I got that degree. I went and applied for that other job and I worked hard. And lo and behold, I got what I wanted. I got what I wanted to the point where now I'm my age and I have the job that I have at Clemson University, and I have my own company on the side, and I'm doing things. I'm proud to do trades work. I still do trades work right now, by the way. Get pretty good money by doing HVAC install. But I never listened to them, and that was the hardest thing for me to overcome was actually just the environment I grew up in and those types of people that were trying to steer me towards the wrong things. And I had to overcome that. Once I did, it's actually become quite easy. Yeah.
I think the first thing that came to my mind when you said challenge was when I began to fear rejection. And listening to you talk about expectations. So I just want to encourage people. It's important to have someone in your life who says it's going to be okay. Just try it. At some point, you may have to be that person for yourself. But the more you can seek out and find mentors and people who tell you that something is just a setback, that there's hearing no is not the worst thing in the world, and it doesn't mean stop trying. And you do have to, as you get older, continue to refresh on that. But I think it's one of the things that's been really exciting to hear about the Harbor Freight Fellows Initiative with the mentorships. Is I think part of what that gives the students who participate, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, is someone saying, go ahead, give it a try. I'm here, I'll help. It's not, I guarantee, a promise everything will be perfect, but it is give it a go, you try, I'll be here, I'll have your back, and I'll help. And I think that's so critical at every point in our life, but it's just especially important for young people.
Back to what he said. Biggest challenge I had was hearing people talking, but at the end of the day, what makes you happy? And I just asked, I wouldn't be here without her. I'm a superhero.
Can I ask a question? How many people in this room, show of hands, have failed at something?
Oh.
Yeah.
All alive.
How many people have tried again when they failed, right? How many people actually got what they were going to accomplish? Yeah, look at how that works, right? It's an amazing thing.
Well, I think it's interesting. All of you have different perspectives on the industry, right? I mean, you're academia, you're a practitioner, you're just coming in, you're kind of not for profit. I guess that just, I love this panel. I love the diversity that we have here from that angle. What else is out there? What are the great questions, Charlie? And thank you all for being so vulnerable, talking about your failures. That's not easy in a room full of 100 people. What other questions do we have? Man, front of the room is going to tip us over here. We'll let one more go. You guys decide what the question is. I'll give you 10 seconds. Right here, this table, one more.
What advice would you give your younger self on what you know today?
Advice. You want to start, John? Advice to the man just coming into the program.
Trust your gut.
Oh, it's my baby.
Trust your gut.
Trust your gut. Deep.
If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I think probably the biggest thing I would say would be, it's going to be okay. Keep pressing on, keep going. Give myself the encouragement, probably, if I could go. I don't want to keep with these guys. They just have already said, but the idea is just, I think we just need that encouragement. And I know I did when I was their age. Overcoming that, you can't do it. You're just an old country boy from Sardis. There's no way you're going to be a business owner. You just need to stick to what your family's doing and what you've done. I think that's probably just give us
I've thought a lot about time and how to make myself both impatient and patient as a young person. Everything seemed like it needed to get done right away, right now. And in some ways it did, because there were lots of opportunities, but also there was going to be time to sort it out too. And it's hard to take the long view, but you've got a lot of really interesting road ahead. And let yourself, give yourself some grace and some patience, and know that it's not all supposed to happen right away, and make space for what's going to happen down the line.
I really think they all summed it up and caught it. First base, go with your gut. Just go with your gut. I wish I would have listened to my gut and not been so vulnerable to the environment that I was in growing up. Because at first I did listen to the naysayers. At first, I had to break that trend in myself. I wasn't going with my gut, and going with my gut was trying to tell myself also to have more patience. And we don't know that until we get older. For some of the young folks, patience. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You'll get there if you stay consistent and you keep your ambition, you keep your drive. You'll get there with patience.
Yeah, please.
just, especially when I'm talking to the young people here, is just really having the drive that you're talking about. I mean, that's probably the most important thing, right? Is I tell people this, what's good, and I've thought about writing a book, and I put stuff together, and just trying to think about how would you sum up what do you need to be successful? If you're the person that will take on the hard task and do it and not complain and seek the hard thing, if you have that attitude, nobody can stop you. Nobody can stop you. If you have the attitude, hey, this is, here's the jobs we got to do. Let me get the hardest job. Let me do the most challenging thing. Let me master that. Let me move on. Welding, whatever. Hey, that's the most challenging job. That's the hardest one. Nobody wants to do it. Let me do it. Let me be the best at it. You have that attitude, think that's what, that's the carry on.
You know, being in the trades, I've had a lot of apprentices, I've had a lot of helpers myself, and I was one, of course, at some point. If I would say to my helpers, if you're not asking a question every day, if you're not saying, hey, can I do that, instead of you doing that, if you're working with your lead ahead of you, your journey person ahead of you, you're not asking, can I go do that work? You're probably doing something wrong that day. You need to ask for that work. I'm going to help you out for a second. Hey, guys in the back, some of the guys I was talking to outside. Yeah, could one or two come up here? Adam wants to ask you a question, or have you ask us a question. Come on up. Come on up. Don't be shy.
So as you were talking, Jacob, I think of there's a book called Eat the Frog, right? Eat the frog first thing, like do the thing you don't want to do immediately. Yeah, y'all come on up, all of you. Not one of you, all of you. Come on. Because this is the thing that I didn't want to do. I'm like, Kai, how do we get him engaged? We go get him, right? Come on, y'all. Oh, yeah. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
I like the short fellows.
Al up there. Right, that's Al. Come on next to Al.
Thought you guys were hiding like that, huh?
Anybody else got a question over here? I've been thinking. I don't know. You gotta go get them, I guess, right? Oh, yeah. What an addition, Al. All right. This panel, I hope it's okay, Mr. Leon. The panel just doubled. No chairs, but we'll be okay. So who's got the question for him? Put that, Anthony, put that Jeopardy music on. Doo-doo. I'm done, Leon.
It can be your own. It doesn't have to be his.
How long have you been doing like cake stuff like that?
What?
How long have y'all been doing this?
I was in the trades for 10, 11 years. I started around bell age, 19, about that was when I got in. And, I leveled up helper, apprentice, junior, journeyman, shop steward, supervisor, project manager. Like I kept going. I did all that. So I don't feel like I'm old. Thanks for the
Hey,
question.
let's hear it for the question, huh? Great work. Yeah.
Same question, all right. Mine's different. So I have a different story, not that same, because that is not normal, but that's the progression you make. So I grew up in the trades, construction trades, but when I got out of school, went right into working at Honda because I could make $9 an hour and have benefits. And I thought that was the best thing ever. But I went in and did that. But then later on, I got back into the trades as a manager, but not being in the trade. So obviously had to get a lot of buy-in from people. That's 2012. So 10 years in tool and die sheet metal stamp machine fabricate now. If I goes by, 10 years goes by quick, but 20 years altogether.
I started out when I was 14, like I said, 2020. And I don't know the exact dates, but I did W International Summit. It was like 3 days, 1 day out of each one. I passed those tests. They offered me a position out there, at welding, right? Barrett's welding and construction. And now I'm teaching.
So I probably started in education and workforce and education policy, not probably in 2001. I worked at the U.S. Department of Education, and 2 years ago I came to work with the Smith Foundation schools, and I feel like there was sort of like a 20-year round trip to the very things that got me animated and excited to take that job at the U.S. Department of Education. And I get to do it from a different seat at the table.
I just want to say this about my pay. When I started, I got offered $9 an hour, and I said yes, thank you very much. And a week later, when I got my paycheck, I saw it was $10 an hour. And I went to the owner and I said, hey, you messed up. You gave me too much this one we agreed on. He says, no, you earned it. And a year later, I was at 15 an hour. And then 2 years later, I was at 21 an hour. And I just kept on going. That's the first time I did it at 9 an hour. Mr. Hoots.
No, Carson's got it. Carson's got it. He's ready. You don't need me.
Encouraged to come back and kind of like explain to younger kids the right path to come back and do.
Great question, man.
Because I messed up a lot and figured that you didn't have to.
Oh.
I don't want this to sound bad, but anytime you preface something like that, it's but I thought everybody was smarter than I was whenever I was younger. I said, as I said earlier, you're this old country boy from Sardis. Everybody else is smarter. I didn't have a nice neighborhood in Florence to grow up in and things like that. So those people are just smarter than I am. Once I realized that wasn't true, I excelled exponentially. So I want to go back to young people and say, you can do it. You got the ability, which y'all have while you're here. You got the attitude. You can do it. And they're providing opportunity. That's the formula, right? Attitude, right? Ability and opportunity. This is the opportunity that they're providing.
Second guessing myself. If I didn't get it done, then.
So as the most senior person on the panel, I can say I think a lot about my 17-year-old self, and I think she had so much energy. She was really kind of like bold, and she's really smart. And I want every 17-year-old, 16, 15-year-old to know what they contain. They contain so much knowledge, they contain so much passion and so much energy. So anything I can do to help people find it while they've got it is just a pretty fantastic day.
Awesome. Thank you all. What do you think, Professor Boulding? Should we let them go or should we keep them after class for more? What do you think? What do y'all think? Keep them?
Keep them!
Keep them? Y'all have more questions? I mean, hey, you're a part of the family now. Y'all have more questions?
It's like,
Got one? Yeah, Nathan?
yeah.
Well, instead of us asking about y'all, what do y'all enjoy about y'all's trades?
Good
Good question.
Yeah, what do you enjoy most about your trade?
I'm so glad that I didn't work in an office when I was 18, 19. I'm very glad that I was on booths and I love playing sports, basketball, and I love being a part of a team and actively getting something done. And at first I was kind of just doing it for work, but then I saw that I was good at the work itself. I was good at managing the crews. I was good at dealing with clients. And when you're good at something, you tend to like it a little bit more. I have no regrets on the career that I chose back then. None. I love it. I still do it to this day.
Mine might not sound as fun as that, but I'm an extremely logical and analytical person. Like extremely. So I love seeing all of this stuff just come. You get all these prints. You got 500 prints. You don't know. I mean, it just seems to be a mess. And then you got this $100,000 tool to finish building. So I love the organization, seeing the project, all the waste get removed and all the, and then you see that project. I love seeing the finished product. It's a good building if you're welding, whatever, and you finish, build a trailer, it's done, and you hook it to the truck. I did that. Or your team did.
Just being a hands-on type of person. Had a passion for welding. Just the first day when I started taking my work, I had to like.
So I hadn't talked about this before, but a lot of my work also had to do with construction and design. And there is something amazing about walking into a building that you've been a part of And you look at every tree in the parking lot and how it's planted and how it's growing in like a really major way, because you feel really vested. You look at the floor and how how it's bearing, and you look at the choices above you, and it just you have a different relationship when you've been a part of making something and making space. It's really pretty extraordinary, and I hope everybody gets to look forward to that and walking into a space and touching and feeling that things are okay.
Thank you. So I can tell you, my family will be driving by somewhere that I've been a part of a team that's built, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I built that. And they're like, Dad, shut up. We already know that. What else? What else do we got? Yes, ma'am. We got table 2, hanging with the mayor.
Two-part question. For the panel, did your parents and your family support you in your vision? And even when you tried something, you failed, did they discourage you, encourage you, to continue? And the second question is, if you were a tree or a plant, what kind of tree or plant? Give me the name of the tree or plant that you want to be and why.
Who's this for specifically?
All the plant, the panel.
All the panel. Shall I get to the big oak tree first?
I was going to say hope. Aside from what I said earlier, my father, he wasn't a very talkative man. He just said, you can do whatever you want. On my 18th birthday, he gave me a globe and said, the world's a big place. It's not just New York City. Other than that, there wasn't much encouragement, to be honest with you, from either one of my parents. I kind of had to find one of my mentors, Joe Bello, the first one. Like, he kind of took me under his wing as the owner of a company, and he gave me that alternate father figure and business figure. And he's the one that said to me 6 months in, he says, Al, you're not going to be just a technician. You're going to be something way more, because he saw my drive. So, at Oak.
I'd say, hopefully I get this right, spur of the moment here, but a cypress tree, because he gets flooded, and he grows, and I always grow when trials and pressure come. I think I've always gotten better and always performed under pressure well, or hope I have. As far as my parents, I was emancipated when I was 17. I had my own trailer whenever I was 17 years old. But I'm not gonna say I didn't get support, but I didn't have anybody funding me. Or I didn't have anybody cheering me on. We got a great mother, great father. Love my family. They're all still alive. But yeah, I didn't have any extra support. It was kind of a tough road.
Every step my parents supported me. If I had to decide a tree, I would say probably a pine tree. Where they spread out. I stick myself with meet new people
So I was really lucky. I had parents who did say, try, do, and if they could help, they helped. And a lot of times they just got out of the way and let me give it a go. And really, really fortunate, but also really fortunate to have other people who weren't my parents, who I sometimes listen to a little more closely than I did to my parents. It's a weird thing. Kids and their parents, sometimes we don't put quite enough stock in what our parents tell us. And then in terms of a plant or a tree, lavender is the first thing that came to mind. It's pretty and gives off that aesthetic piece, but it also is a working plant. It's going into things, and it's a pollinator, and it's getting things done at the same time. So lavender.
Makes me sleepy, right? All right, what else? How about, we got Miss Sarah. We're starting to balance the room out. What do you got, Miss Sarah?
Okay, so I want to hear about, so we've all encountered people throughout different parts of our lives that maybe a little difficult, not quite our cup of tea kind of thing. Tell about a time when you had a challenge with a coworker or something like that, and how you came to
Keith, who wants to start with this one? Can you give us the country of origin for that question?
Here's why I'm asking that. I want these students to hear about that you are gonna encounter obstacles. How are you getting through?
Great question.
Yeah, great question. Easy question, right? Easiest question. I'm gonna answer the question, but maybe just a tiny bit of a different spin. One thing was, and I've kind of said this a time or two, alluded to it, but whenever took over a company that was a trades company, and I was coming in to change completely what they were doing, nobody liked it. Nobody, just initially. And I'm gonna fast forward about 2 years later, 3 years later, I'm gonna give a plug to SCMVP, Sacramento Manufacturers Venture Partnership, on the board for SCMVP, but I partnered with them to help bring the game plan in, help the training, etc. But somebody asked that in the audience, they said, what in the world made y'all follow this guy whenever you've been here 25 years? He brought a completely different game plan in. And the guy said, because I trusted him. Because I trusted what he said. And that's, I guess, kind of answering the question was, that's the biggest challenge. You got to earn people's trust. I didn't always do the best of that when I was young. As I got older, I learned the value of trust. So that's the challenge. So if you are having that difficulty, sometimes it's a trust issue. Now you got to be a bigger person. Show that, hey, you can trust me even though we're having.
We gotta hang out more, dude. You're speaking my love language. Trust is everything. How do you build trust? What things do you do to build trust? There you go.
I tell you something, I'll keep my word.
Yeah. Do to say ratio. If I say it, I'm gonna do it. If I do it, I'm gonna say it. Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to answer that question. You haven't run into that problem yet.
Keep living, baby.
That was that he said it was trust and he cared for us. I left that part out. And that's what I missed initially was you got to care for somebody, build trust. You say this may do it, but also you got to know you can care about them. Not just trying to make it out.
The issues of working with people that I've come across, I'm not going to tell you some of the things that ownership said to me sometimes about getting a job done, because it doesn't matter how it gets done, it's got to get done. But playing sports, and the goal was to win the game, not to score more points than Jake, right? It was to work together as a team and get that done. It's, as a subcontractor, I look at a construction job as that was GC and Japes and other stuff. We're all actually a team trying to get a project built. I don't look at it like I need to get there before you and fight you for the space, because it's already knocked out. We already know where everything's supposed to go. We just need to work together. You can use my ladder. Have I had problems with people on jobs? I think all of us have had problems with people we work with, but I'm not trying to make them look bad or beat them in some type of way. I just want to get the project done. So we need to work together to get it done. So yeah, and I will say one thing the owner said to me, because I don't care if you guys go into the mechanical room and fight, but the job needs to get done by 4 o'clock. That's the hard-nosed thing that I came from. That was a different time almost. So you hear something like that, you want your paycheck, and you don't know what another person's going through in their life. Did they argue with their wife this morning? Is their kid having a problem? It's just work for me. So that's how I look at it. We're just going to get this project done. We don't need to argue and fight. I don't know if that's a great answer.
I was going to say it's the power of listening and making space to listen. It turns out I had a pretty active internal monologue, especially as a young professional. I was having both parts of the conversation with myself. I knew what you were going to say, and I knew what you were thinking, and the more time we spent working together, I knew even more exactly what was on your mind, and I wasn't leaving space for you to tell me. Chances are the other person had a pretty active internal monologue too. So learning how to make space and turn down my internal volume and listen and really hear the other person and not imagine what was coming out of their mouth and why. That took some doing. So if you can avoid that early in your career, that's awesome. But if you can't, know that it's a common challenge and that it takes some work to learn how to be a good listener.
Well, I think there's a lot. So a lot of it is like allowing for those uncomfortable moments, right? Like let that just settle in, right? I think it's important to allow for those and acknowledge those and let those happen. I guess we've got about 2 more minutes left, Leon, right? 2 minutes. So maybe each one of you, Josiah, you ready for your question? Bringing us up. Okay, what are you studying? Are you automotive? Are you construction? What's your program? Automotive mindset? Okay. Hit them with your question. What's your question again?
What is y'all's greatest achievement that y'all had in the trades?
Greatest achievement.
I don't think I've had it yet.
What do you mean, Al?
I've done a lot, like Jake was saying earlier. When I go by someplace, I love because I did that. Like, I built that, I put it together, but I'm still trying to do it. I'm not done. You know, it's when you just did something great, I guess make another goal. Try to do something else great. Until you're really done, you're not done. So I don't think I've hit it yet.
Somebody quote that. Until you're done, you're not actually done. Right? On a t-shirt. Yeah. Constructionism.
Or the biggest accomplishment or something that I get the most pride from 2000, I think 18 or 19, I forget which year, but won the Transition on Operational Excellence Award. Just a couple years prior was the company that I took over that was in the dumps, about to close the doors. We were awarded that from the SCMEP, and that's bringing all these tradespeople together, bringing in lean thinking into building dies, building tools, eliminating waste, making things visible. Getting that award really gave me some confidence.
I just want to hug you. Need tools, baby. I did not set this up. What do you got?
For me, it would be getting my web certification right before graduating high school. And after graduating, going straight to work.
I'm gonna rip off of the fact that you get to still keep doing it. That it turns out is the biggest accomplishment. Is that you're doing well enough and you're bringing enough to it that you get to keep doing it and going for the next challenge. That's real gift.
Awesome. Well, let's hear it one last time. 1:30 right on the dot. Mr. Leon, we're delivering right on time. Delivery. Thank you, Mr. Leon. Yes, thank you. Charlie, you're the man. Back to you, Mr. Leon. Thank you for this opportunity.
We thank you.
Yes, sir.
Greatly appreciate it.
Always.
I think that is probably, we've had a lot of good meals today. We definitely eat. But I think that's probably one of the meatiest parts of today, listening to the panel, and particularly when you have students and members of the trades industry give you their background, talk about their challenges, and they tell you exactly what it is that helps them get up every morning and keep doing what they do. So once again, I'd like to thank Mr. Adam Boots for this.
That was fun. Thank them because they did all the work. Thank you, Charlie. All the
members
questions.
of the panel for being able to, or for being, I'll say for being open with us, and definitely thank you all for the questions, everything that you provided to keep us going. Okay, we are now at that point where we are going to have some student demonstrations for you. We could not let the day go by without letting you see what the students are actually doing. And so we have some students who are going to put on some demonstrations. I've already shown you some of the work by our masonry students and our building construction students. We have some firefighting students here who are going to show us how to use a fire extinguisher. Now, these are going to be set up in different areas so that you can go and see those areas that are of most interest to you. We have some architect students who are going to be doing some car diagnostics outside. At the very back, we have health science students who are going to do vitals and blood pressure checks for us. Then right here, right behind the registration table, or right in front of it, if you look back, on my right, your left, we have our state award-winning entrepreneurship students who are going to show you what it is to help them to get that state title. And they also have some free gifts for you. So they want to make sure that you stop by to get those freebies. If we'll now allow our students an opportunity to move into your areas for the demonstrations. And as I said, for the next 30 minutes or so, you may